Okay, this is building a sleeper Ranger Derby car. Part of what we're going to do here is we're going to take a stock kit and we're going to sit there and move it from the plastic. We got this jig that was built up. It could be a little bit better, but it's got a spot where it marks the wheels at. I don't know how the lighting is on it, but you set the jig just inside of there. You notice there's black spots where the axles are at. If you're doing standard axles, doing a wedge, no point in moving the axles unless you're doing flipping a block and drilling holes for custom axles. So the kit snugly fits inside in here. And this is set up in a vise, so once you tighten on the vise, it'll grab my hammer. Alright, so once it's pretty well flat inside there, you tighten up the vise on it. And it clamps that down in there. Don't worry about if you did the top, because that's going to be removed anyways once you create the wedge. So I take a trim router with a pretty well straight thin bit to it. Let's get safety. Get the dust mask. So what we're going to do here is this is set up where this plate right here acts as a guide. So it doesn't allow you to go past a certain point, blowing out the sidewalls. Now, also, it allows you to set up the depth. So if you take another block, you can see you can get pretty low, but you really don't want to blow those out. So that's why I got the marks right there. So I know once I go past a certain point, once I go past a certain point in depth, I need to concentrate more in between these two black splotches right here, building it down to the final depth. You could try to hog all this out at once, but you know, it does get to be a chore and puts a lot of room for error in here. So I'm going to start out with not much peeking out there. Get the mask on. This is just building a car that's going to be built for speed, but still within the rules and regulations. This kind of puts the weight on the inside of the car, giving it more aerodynamics. Okay, here we go. Really just cleans it out right. Yeah. Really just cleans it out right there. Makes a pretty good bathtub. So if you had a kid that wanted to build a bathtub-esque looking pine car, or maybe a trailer for a truck or various other things, this jig also works out great for that too. And so I use a block as a guide there. I don't want to go too deep. And that's probably about as far deep, especially in that area right there, I want to go. So I may go deeper in the center to give it more. Ooh, that's a little spot. Hang on. All right. Now I can lower it down to our final depth of what you're going to get in that area right in here. All right. Remember, we got to stay in this area between these black spots right here. That way we don't blow out the areas where our axle is going to be at. We have some structural integrity there when we start hammering our nails in. getting close to the line. Kind of draw an eyeball mark right there so I can see it a little bit better. Now, if you want to, there's still some room with this jig to have it swipe in the front and the back. So, but it's not that important. You're not shaving that much off. But that's the initial step right there. Next, we go to the forming a wedge.